It's Halloween and I'm here at Canterbury, and some interesting news. I've been wanting to branch out and become a more serious tournament poker player because I love cash games, especially Omaha, high-low. But the problem is, it sucks winning money off of your friends, you know? I mean, especially in the Omaha community, it's pretty... There aren't a lot of players up here, and they're mostly older, and anyway, I have tournament news to get to, but before I get to that, I spent another 15-hour session playing Omaha high-low last night, and I only play that long if I get stuck. So, for instance, a couple days ago I played like 2 hours maybe, and I made like a couple $100. So I'm out. Job done. But last night, just when I was getting to think Omaha, it's just a matter of managing your numbers, playing the right cards, playing it right, and the variance got me. The variance got me big time again. So very frustrating to see pots, big pots, slip out of the palm of your hands or out of your grasp by just a card. Just an insignificant card. The last card in the deck that can hurt you, it bam, hits the river all the time. So yeah, I was stuck quite a few hundred, but I have a few favorite dealers, and one of my favorite dealers got to the table. And it's just a coincidence, you know, there's nothing rigged, but all of a sudden I just hit hand after hand after hand, and probably just had inside of that half an hour, had at least a $700 or $800 run. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I was blown away. So I fortunately got unstuck from that game. But, you know, it lasts till, you know, 3:30 in the morning, Halloween morning. It's Halloween afternoon. And I played probably the longest tournament in my life today, 4 hours. I believe, I decided to play tournaments today because I have, you know, a lot of cash in the bankroll, thanks to the ATM that I reluctantly withdrew from. So I had cash in my pocket, enough to take a stab at the tournament. And the tournament I took a jab at is the tournament style I like, deep stack. So that means you start with a lot of chips, and you can just play your hands like a normal poker player, at least at the beginning. And it was only $150 buy-in. So, I mean, you know, I can sit at the at the lowest limit game here and lose $150 in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'm like, you know, I'm sick of that. I'm just gonna play the tournament today. And amazingly, I cashed. I'm saying amazingly because at a couple points I was down to just like minimal chips, and one particular all-in I went through, I had you know, ace, and the other player had a king. The flop comes 7, king, 7. But thankfully there were 2 diamonds on board, and I had a diamond draw, and I just totally disregarded and didn't pick up on there was a pair of sevens already on the board. You know, in hindsight, I mean, I would have acted anyway, but the turn came a 7, giving my opponent sevens full of kings, a full house. So, I mean, I was counting on my diamond draw coming in. I knew the diamond draw, if it came in, would be worthless. The river comes in ace. Miracle card. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It's shocking somehow sometimes what you see on the poker table. So my drawing dead just you know, turned around. Sevens full of aces versus sevens full of kings. And I had a couple of hands like that. I had an ace-king suited a couple times, and it pulled through, you know, in a coin toss situation. So at one point I had over 70,000 in chips. We start at 20,000. Early on, the first hand I played, I flopped a straight, so that was an easy play. I chipped up to over 20, 25, approaching 30,000, but the most I had in the game was 70,000. So it's interesting and tense when you get to the bubble, because I bought in at 111 people and 125 people played the tournament. The bubble was at, the first cash was at 15. And I was surprised just how quickly the players dropped during the game, because at the second break, I think we were down to like half of the players already. So it's like, what? You're kidding. I had tried to make the top 30 when there was over 100 players, or around 100 players. So when it got to the bubble, they play hand per hand. So you can't, you know, stall around and slow play your hands, because I try to do that. Of course, everyone does. Everyone that's approaching a bubble situation. And it got down to the bubble, and there were like two players with less chips than me. So it comes down to who's gonna get blinded out first, because, you know, I'm digging in my heels. I'm not risking anything until I get to the bubble, get to the cash. And it took a while. It took like 10 or 15 minutes for the bubble to burst, and it went out on our table. But it was obvious that it was going to happen, because, you know, he was down to his last blind. And when the hand played out, he was ahead at first, but dude spiked a Broadway on the river, so he was gone. So we could breathe a sigh of relief and start playing normal. And before I knew it, 2 additional players got knocked out, and it was one more had to get knocked out to have the pay increase by $50. And I was down to my final big blind, and I had pocket kings, and 2 big stacks went all in ahead of me. And I'm like, perfect, you know, I couldn't ask for a better situation. Well, one player had 7s, one player had 9s, and the board came as straight. 10 on the river made dude a straight, so I lost. I had a perfect opportunity to triple up. It wouldn't have been much of a triple up, but the sad part of it is he busted 2 out in one hand. 13th, moi, and 12th, the dude. 12th was 294 payout. 13th was 244. So I'm just ecstatic to get in the money at all. Kind of a little sweet justice in terms of my tournament play. So far for the year, I've probably cashed like $700, and 2 in Texas and 1 here just today. So, lifetime, I think probably 1,000, not much. If you search it on Google, it's probably going to show 600 or so, but the tournament play here is recorded, so it shows up on Google. The tournament play in Texas isn't, at least at the card house I played in. So, ending on a good note here today, I cashed 244, 13th place out of 125, so I beat the odds this time. But it's a little vindication to cash it all. But my gripe with this tournament is I don't feel I even played. Seriously, I feel like I didn't even play like a poker player. I played survival tactics. And yeah, I didn't get aces once. I got kings in my final hand. But all throughout the tournament, I had ace-king a couple times, pocket tens twice, and oh, pocket jacks. Jacks I won, pocket tens I lost both hands, but I didn't even call past the flop for those hands. So yeah, it's a great day anytime you cash in a poker tournament, and hopefully I'll start playing more tournaments. Because it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's an easier concept to be playing against the field versus taking cash directly out of another person's pocket. So, unless you're playing millionaires or, you know, trust fund babies, retirees that got cash to burn, it's, you know, it can be kind of disheartening at times. So, yeah. Yay me. Alright, I'm on the board for 1-3 kill pots. Hold'em, so it's 1-3 and 3-6 with the kill. So, I'm gonna play for an hour or so to cash out my comps for here, and I probably need to play less than an hour to cash out my comps, and we'll see what happens from there.